Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. It's always confusing when we have a holiday and kids out of school. My name is Rachel Loth. I am from healinginnerhomes.com, and this morning we're chatting about hormones and essential oils, hormones and detox, hormones and weight loss. We're going to have a very special guest here on my page, Dr. Mariza Snyder, and she has written a book called The Essential Oils Hormone Solution, How to Reset Your Hormones in 14 Days. It's a topic that almost every woman, right, wants information on. We always have a ton of questions. Hey, she's here. Let me get her added on here. I am super fancy this morning, y'all, in my car. It's raining. I've already gotten like 10 things on my to-do list done, and it's 10 a.m. The dog's in the car, so hopefully with the storms and everything and the dog, we can have a good chat here. It says it's still adding you, Dr. Snyder. So again, she just put out this book, The Essential Oils Hormone Solution. It is so powerful. And
hello.
All information.
Hey, Han. Yes, I grabbed the wrong tripod, so I was running to get the other tripod.
Oh, you're good.
Because I got two tripods, girl.
Of course you do.
Of course.
And it's early there. It's 8 a.m. there.
Yes,
right?
it is. How are you, honey?
Yeah. I'm good. Just you know.
Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just trying to, I thought I had my stuff together, and then I didn't have the right tripod.
See, even when you're an author, best-selling author, still life's so crazy, right?
All right, I'm good. I'm sorry. Here we go. I'm just plugging these little thingies in real quick so that there's no
that'll
issues.
stop our
Okay.
echo.
There we go. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. I'm in my
Good
car
morning.
because my life's crazy too. Yeah, so super fancy. Hey, Jennifer Lake.
Hey, Jennifer.
Good to see you here. Hopefully, yeah, here they come. They're here to hear all about hormones. I'm so excited about your book. It's going well, yeah?
Yeah, it's going well. Yes, we have the book into 15,000 hands so far.
Wow,
yeah,
that's incredible.
I did not think that would be the case in the first week of the release. So, which really lends to the fact that I think women like ourselves, like you and me, are really excited about it. You know, I was looking at, I'm not a big fan of looking at Amazon reviews, but I was looking at Amazon reviews last night. I don't know what it was, why I was looking at them. And what I read, people were like, I cannot put this book down. I'm like, did I write a novel? You know, because the way that people were describing it, I was laughing.
Yeah.
It must have been like 20 different reviews. Like, I hope I don't finish it. And I was like, girl, I wrote a novel. I didn't even know it.
Well, I think, part of it is a lot of women really don't understand how their bodies work. They don't understand how everything's connected. They don't understand what their thyroid does. They don't understand how toxicity affects. I mean, they really don't know. I didn't know until, I started really looking at why can't I lose weight, and, beating myself up for years about what I was eating and how I was feeling and being depressed when there was so much more going on. And I feel like your book, opens that door. We need to understand how this works, or we're never going to fix it.
Absolutely. There is so much misconception around our hormones, so many things that we haven't been told, we just have been very much misinformed, especially in kind of mainstream medicine, conventional medicine. And, and I know that because I meet and connect with so many women. I think women think, most of us, we think hormones are just hot flashes and PMS and, having babies. And it's, they're literally chemical messengers that are facilitating everything inside of the body. So it's opening up the door. So every single chapter, pretty much, I talk all about what hormones are involved in every single process.
Yeah, it's good. Do you mind if I read a little bit out of the first chapter?
Sure, girl, get in it.
Sneak peek here for y'all that don't have the book yet. This chapter 1 is called How to Balance Your Hormones Without Adding Hormones. And it's so important because, like she's saying, we think like something's wrong. And so, a lot of doctors, a lot of people want to throw more hormones at it. And those of us, like who took birth control and all those things and now look back and realize we paid a price for that, already know this, but it's really, really important. I love this opening chapter. How did I get here? Many women find themselves in a hormonal crisis at some point in their lives. They seek advice from medical professionals who, more likely than not, downplay common symptoms like depression, anxiety, weight gain, and brain fog, and their failure to see women as a whole person. Sorry, the woman as a whole. Our unique history, genetic makeup, personality, emotional health, lifestyle, habits, and many more factors play into who we are. We need to see beyond the surface. Who we are is as important as what we present as. We're not our symptoms. We have to treat the whole person. And then you go on to talk about how we go through these life stages. We work and work and work, or we have children. We neglect ourselves. We ignore ourselves. We push and push, which is exactly what happened to me. Having 5 kids in 9 years and building to Diamond and doTERRA and just being a type A person in general. And then when we suddenly realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm falling apart, it's also kind of that time of life in our 30s when our bodies change and we blame that. But you say you can't fix hormones with hormones. Pumping in additional hormones may do more damage than good. A holistic approach to understanding who you are as a woman and then taking a hard look, right? This is the hard part, at your routines and lifestyle that landed you where you are. So I love that you said, are you hormonal? Don't be offended. The answer is always yes, or always hormonal, right? So you don't have to throw your clary column at your husband when he asks you that.
Or you could,
or you could, whatever. Especially if he renames it something else, then definitely throw it at him.
Throw it at him.
But it's just so important to give women this vision. And I could not have lost the 80 pounds without detoxing, right? I couldn't have lost it without looking at that whole person. And as I detoxed and healed my gut, I stopped being depressed. And I don't think it's just because I'm not fat anymore. I'm not like happy because I'm skinny. I'm happy because I'm detoxed, right? And all that said, even with all of my journey, I still am like eating this stuff up in your book. Here's the book, everybody, we're talking about. Because I still our hormones are never going to be perfect, right? We never reach that magical place.
No.
Right? Where we're fixed.
No, the thing about hormones is that, like I said, chemical messengers that are literally mediating the lifestyle that we're living. So, they're just trying to catch up and keep up with how we're doing life and what we're doing. And they're also trying to mediate the environment that we're being exposed to, whether or not we realize we're being exposed to different things. Like you said, healing the gut has such a profound impact on neurochemistry, on serotonin levels, on dopamine levels. And it's no doubt that because you healed your gut and you detoxified, that your brain was so much happier because of it, right? There was so many hormones involved in that process. And I think we don't realize that just, even gut health there's a lot of hormones involved in gut health, and not just the reproductive hormones. I think when we start to see the full landscape of all of it, we begin to realize, a lot of women that have been asking me about the book, they've asked, is this good for postmenopause, or is this good for a complete hysterectomy? And I said, although I understand, losing those reproductive hormones or feel like that may be all of the cause of the body, I find that a lot of the symptoms that women are going through post-menopause, besides losing estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, are really that toxins are catching up with us. I see that there's gut issues. I see that there's a sluggish thyroid, there's a sluggish liver. There is there's mitochondrial damage. Those are the things, that I usually see. And so this book was so perfect for women post-menopause, because it is addressing all of those other concerns as well. So it isn't just that we dip in estrogen. We're supposed to technically dip a little bit in estrogen, or even a lot post-menopause, but it's usually toxicity that's actually causing us those problems later on in life that we're really beginning to experience 50 and 60 years old. I was like, no, if we can clear the liver, if we can get a liver functioning, a lot of those symptoms are going to go away.
So interesting. And I would assume that you would also carry that through to cognitive issues that come up as we get older, and memory issues. I know the memory issues I can have at 39, so I'm a little scared of the memory issues I can have at 69. But I would guess that you would link a lot of those issues also to toxicity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alzheimer's and things like that.
And mitochondrial dysfunction. I think, our brain, every little neuron in the brain contains about 3,000 mitochondria. And those mitochondria are what allow us to function, think. That's how the brain works. You know, you think about, just to kind of give a sense, this is not necessarily hormones, but to give a sense of things. Like if you and I had a stroke today, let's just put it out there, someone had a stroke today, the reason why the brain goes down is because we aren't feeding oxygen to those mitochondria. That's all the reason why we have a circulatory system. The only reason why we breathe, the only reason why we have blood is so that we can feed mitochondria so that they make energy, they make ATP in the body. That's literally, and that's the only reason why we eat too. We eat building blocks so we have cofactors to build enzymes, but for the most part, we need fats and sugars to feed mitochondria and to feed the Krebs cycle. So that's ultimately, so much of our life is being driven by these little organelles inside of our cells. You know, when we start to experience brain fog, it oftentimes is because we're nutrient depleted, or we've got toxins that we're dealing with, or that we've got some gut concerns that are relating to kind of wonky neurochemistry inside of our brain. Those are usually the big ones that are lending to brain fog. Clearly, I'm having it right now. To brain fog and and to declining cognitive function. Those are typically the things. And I think that that's really important that we understand that if we're taking care of our body, we're giving our bodies the right nutrients, we're using essential oils, we're creating a non-toxic environment, we really are setting ourselves up for success.
You're making me want to run in and get my Mitomax and.
I love Mitomax so much. I could talk about that supplement all day.
Forgot about that one. I need to take that one too.
Yeah. So it's important. And women also understand, I mean, the importance of our reproductive hormones, especially even at our age right now, as we're in our, well, I'm almost 40, and I know that my hormones are fluctuating more, and I can feel that. And where it's having a profound impact, like, I'm not going to lie, there are definitely times where hormones are kind of doing their thing, and I definitely kind of feel the mood effect of that, the emotional implications of that. And then we know that stress has major implications as well. I read several studies the last couple of months that when we are chronically stressed, our IQ drops by 50 points.
Oh, gosh.
And the reason for that is we don't need our prefrontal cortex. We don't need it. We don't need to solve problems when we're trying to run from a tiger. We just need to run, and so when you're in constant fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system mode, your brain's like, I don't need to solve problems. I just need to run from everything. And so we downgrade the prefrontal cortex to upgrade the limbic brain. So it's just interesting, how that has a really big effect on us.
Yeah, that concerns me.
I live like that. I shut this part of my brain off for like 5 years.
I'm sure. It's probably shut off right now because you have so much going on.
It probably is.
And all the moms listening, like, all you do is solve problems for like 18 years, and then you solve more problems when they call you, I mean, I called my mom all the time when I went to college and all that kind of stuff. And so I hope the message everyone's getting is that there's no one quick fix. You can't just take a pill or just take a cream or just use an oil one time. We have to live a wellness lifestyle. We have to use our oils, use our supplements, listen to our bodies, pay attention to symptoms and get at what's causing them, find ways to de-stress, which I'm totally preaching to myself right here because that's a hard one for me. There's another one. So I was going to ask, this is a selfish question.
Sure.
I am really, really bad at getting enough sleep. And I know in my head how important it is, but we talk about how not getting enough sleep affects your hormones because I can feel it and I'm a bad girl.
Yes. Girl, not getting enough sleep affects everything. I mean, your liver is begging for sleep. Your brain is begging for sleep. All your little cells, every little cell, you have to think about all the intelligence of every single little cell in the body. It is making, I remember when I took biology in college, I had a professor who, it was magical beauty to her. She was so in awe of the cell, of one cell. And she's like, you guys, just mind blown about the one cell. And there's trillions of them, inside the body. And the thing is that disease is cellular. It's what it comes down to. And I really wanted to emphasize that in the book as well. We, especially because we're blaming so much of it on hormones. I'm like, really, we got to blame it on what's going on in the cells, what's happening on a cellular level. And so these little cells are making millions of decisions every single second, every single cell in the body. It's miraculous. And so, but if those cells don't get the rest that they need, they stop, they don't work so well. They start to dysfunction. They start to not make the right enzymes. They start to not get the right toxins out of the system. I mean, there's such a wonderful, I mean, what's so miraculous about the body, and I'm always so blown away that, you can eat a Twinkie and your body will do something with that. And I don't even know how that's possible, but it is. Like, so you can eat a bag of Doritos and your body's like, okay, well, this is what she gave me. I'm going to have to figure this out. And so every single cell is making those type of decisions, just to kind of give you a sense of things. But yeah, sleep is one of those things that is just absolutely so imperative to have. And I really emphasize having a sleep routine because, and I know for moms in particular and women who are entrepreneurial or women who are, it's so interesting. I talk a lot about, what's happening. Why are women struggling so much today more than ever? And the thing of it is that, Rachel, I don't know if my grandma or your grandma would have had the same opportunities that you and I have to get to do the things that we do today. Not only, you take care of your family, but you also run this beautiful business. You empower people. You're an influencer. You're a change agent. And you know what? We get to wear all these amazing hats. And guess what? We still do the things that grandma was doing. We're still doing those things too. We just added extra stuff. And these opportunities when I realized the opportunities that laid out upon me, I sprinted. I mean, girl, I learned I could run from one thing to the next in high school, and I never stopped. I was like, I could be more efficient if I run literally with tennis shoes on. I was always the girl who was running from the thing to the thing. Like, I was like, oh, there she goes. And so, because I was like, there's just so much opportunity here. And I believe this lie, and I talk about this in the book, that I thought I was managing stress. And the only reason why I thought I was managing it was because I wasn't crawling in life. I wasn't like literally like trying to get through, until I was. And then I wasn't ever managing stress well back then. And so that was such a big lesson for me. And I think a lot of us think that we are for so long as we're not falling apart to some degree. And I remember telling my mom when I first had symptoms for what was going on with me, and she was like, oh, that's just how women feel. Like, that's just how, it was all normality. Like, oh, that's the thing, that's a woman's situation and circumstance. Like, that's how we all feel. And I thought that was so intriguing to me. I was like, I don't know if that's how we have to feel. And so I think sleep is self-care. People ask what self-care is to me. I mean, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is taking moments, using your oils, having a morning moment, giving yourself permission to pause, giving yourself permission to sleep so that you can show up and keep doing the big stuff that you were put on this earth to do. So that's my soapbox take on all that.
My sleep pep talk right there.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I'll do well for a while, shutting it all down and putting myself to bed. But other times, it's hard. BOGO week, hard to slow down. So, but I'm going to do better. Linda commented, grandma picked cotton. And I will say, I think our grandparents, excuse me, it's like literally 80 one day, 30 the next day. Now it's raining. It's near freezing. So we're all like just trying to get through Texas here. But she said, took care of 11 kids, took care of the farm, fed us 3 good meals. I can't say the rest of her comment, but absolutely they worked super hard.
Yeah.
So
not to say that they weren't working hard at all.
Yeah. But it was always it was different. They didn't have the same mental stress we have because they didn't have the internet. They didn't have phones. They didn't have ability to be reached at all times. Their children didn't have the ability to reach the world at all times. Their 11 kids were always at home or at school or on the farm. And I think physically, our grandmothers worked harder and they had to grind their wheat and do all the things. But I feel like the mental stress, has its whole other toll on us.
Yeah, it's more of a mental stress than it is anything else today. We're just thrown into so many things, and we are, not that women at all times of the world and all times of history have always been the CEOs of homes and they're managing so much. But we're also wearing a masculine hat. I feel like we're grandma and grandpa today. I think that's who we are.
Well, I think too, like I notice more the older I get, just the stimulation of just the constant bombardment, you know, of like even artificial lighting and, you know, billboards and the constant ads and the constant things that we're bombarded with, that they didn't have, you know, that we can't turn off because it's the world we live in. So getting enough sleep and using our oils and watching our toxicity levels. You guys, this book is on Amazon, and she really, I'm going to just look at this because I want to make sure you know, has a guide to using oils, the top 15 essential oils for hormones, and the value of using them every day, creating your own essential oil rituals, using oils for stress, energy, fatigue, sleep issues, weight issues. Anybody intrigued? Hormones, libido, digestive issues, all related, all tied in. And then there's a 14-day rescue meal plan. I looked at those, some really cool cilantro lime dressing, healthy versions of these things, recipes, and the 5 pillars of a foundational lifestyle. So it's very holistic. It says, have your hormones been hijacked? Are you energy depleted and irritable, unable to sleep, having trouble staying focused, having difficulty losing weight? That's like every single woman, at least if you're over 35. For sure if you're over 35, but even younger and younger and younger these days. So I'm trying to teach my daughter and all my children to pay attention to their bodies, you know, to like my teenagers. I don't believe they have to suffer with teenage hormones. They use Claritin, they take probiotics, you know, we talk about food constantly. We talk about sugar's effect on your immune system and sugar's effect on your energy levels. And they experiment a lot with food and their bodies as athletes. And it's really neat. And I believe so passionately that we have to talk to the younger generation about these things. We have to be educated about ourselves. We have to make changes in ourselves. We have to teach the women coming after us and the men how to care for their bodies holistically, because their generation is headed in even worse direction than ours is. And they need to know how this all works. And so the more you are empowered, the more you understand what's going on in your body and how it all works together, it literally can change the world. You know, that's why we do essential oils, right. Dr. Snyder? Like, that's why we do what we do. And then hormones runs the show in our body. And so if you understand how that works, and if you make a choice and it's not the best choice for yourself, like not like going to bed at 1 a.m., then you get up the next morning and you feel that effect, and you know, you have tools and oils and supplements and rituals to combat it and to take care of yourself, and then you can make a different choice, you know, to feel a different way. That is 100% empowerment of your health, and that means you're not having to go and throw you know, synthetic things at your body and start down that deep spiral that so many people unfortunately find themselves with long-lasting consequences for their entire health. So thank you for writing this book.
Thank you, honey. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so excited. It's on Amazon. It's beautiful. It's well done. Lots of recipes for your oils. Dr. Snyder's really good at making cool recipes. Let me see if I can just read you one. I was flipping through here earlier. Well, your Superwoman blend is the most popular. Of course. Of course. I think I see that one everywhere because we all want to be Superwoman. And I think you have one in here, right, for toning up those hard skin areas that women deal with. All kinds of different recipes in here. I'm not finding it right now, but get the book, learn about how your body works, create some new routines, create some new health patterns for yourself, model it for your children, model it for your nieces and nephews, and the people that in your life, and we can really make a difference and you know, we don't have to suffer as women all the time, right?
No, we do not. No, we do not. I know someone asked about postmenopause or surgical postmenopause, and yes, this book I have many family members who've had, so hysterectomies, so surgical menopause. Many family members who've had surgical menopause and who have had to have full-on hysterectomies. When I was doing this book, I was interviewing them as well because I really wanted women to know that there is natural ways to balance out those hormones without hormones as they're getting older. Real quick with if it's a hysterectomy and you had a hysterectomy really early, like in your 30s or your 40s, I do think there are times where bioidenticals do serve because you're technically supposed to have hormones at that point in your age. But as you get older into your 60s or late 50s, if you've had one, hormones are declining already as well. And so, yeah, you can absolutely get your body back in balance without necessarily having to use hormone replacement therapy. So the book is really a great guide for that as well. So I know a lot of women keep asking me, is it okay for postmenopause? And it really is. So wanted to let you know that. Oh, thank you so much. Well, yes,
Yay.
thank you, honey. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you,
I
too,
know you
honey.
have a lot going on. You go on tour on Thursday?
Yeah, I leave on tour on Thursday, yeah. So, yeah, right in the middle of BOGO week.
Okay. Yeah, right? Why not?
Why not?
So take some time to de-stress yourself, too.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks, Hen.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.